The cinematic experience has been a staple of entertainment for decades now, and it's only gotten more advanced. Think about it. People were so impressed by a train moving across the screen for 20 seconds, but now we can just do that on our phones. People wanted more. Now the expectation not only for the quality of a movie, but also the content in it has skyrocketed, taking Oscar-winning movies like 1917 or Parasite for an example. 1917 with its one-shot looking film style, and also even Parasite with their twist ending, which a lot of movies can't really do well, but they did it correctly. But because the standard of a movie has been raised so high, like the bar is all the way up here, now the enjoyment of a movie has to do with how revolutionary or how groundbreaking it is, instead of just enjoying some simple fun sometimes. Take a movie like Space Jam for an example. It was made off of a shoe commercial with Michael Jordan playing basketball with Bugs Bunny. What did anybody expect going into that? Now, this movie came out a few years after Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That movie was really revolutionary with the animated characters and the real people being in the same place. But after you go past the technical aspect and get into the actual movie, you can see why it's not highly regarded. The story was very campy and very cheesy, and the acting, to be honest, was pretty fucking bad. Maybe aside from like Bill Murray, the acting was like lackluster at best. But because of these really simple and cheesy aspects, it doesn't mean that the movie still can't be enjoyable in its own right. If you expected some deep philosophical meaning of life or some secret twist ending about Michael Jordan playing basketball with the Looney Tunes, then you went to the wrong movie. That one scene toward the climax of the movie when Michael Jordan had 10 seconds left on the clock and he stretched his arms out like a whole cartoon character to go dunk the ball. Yeah, it's absurd, it's wacky, and it's outright just incredulous how they even managed to put that in the movie as a plot point, as the way that the heroes came out on top. But that's literally the point of the entire movie. If the Looney Tunes are gonna find some way to win a basketball game, it would be by somehow contorting or stretching their limbs. There's no other way they could have done it. And even the overall message of the movie is really cliched and really simple, but it's still a truth about life if you're really thinking about it. It's the last quarter of the game and they're still losing against the Monstars, and the Looney Tunes, they try and take some of Michael Jordan's secret sauce, right? His secret, juice that makes him good at the game. But it turns out it's nothing secret at all. It's just water. And that plot point itself was leading into the lesson that Michael Jordan was trying to teach the Looney Tunes, that you don't really need anything secret, any type of magic, voodoo, power, ball stealing, whatever techniques. You just gotta work hard and you just gotta believe in yourself. The message of hard work versus talent, or hard work versus, cheating, steroids, whatever, has always been a common thing throughout books, throughout TV shows, movies, anywhere you can think of. It's like the phrase, if you give a man a fish, you'll feed him for a day. But if you teach the man how to fish, then you'll feed him for a lifetime. Yeah, see, it makes sense, because if the dude learns how to fish, he works hard at trying to perfect his fishing craft, then it'll benefit him more than somebody else doing for him or other conventional means. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying. Though Space Jam is a prime example of a simple and absurd, cheesy movie, it still has things like the previous message that still holds weight. But for some reason, people still tend to compare it to other cinematic masterpieces and expect it to be on the same par when it was not designed to be that way. A simple plot, a simple formula, and simple characters don't equate to a bad movie or a bad series. Taking simple archetypes and putting spins on them, that's how you make something revolutionary, even without making it complicated or making it too thought-provoking. As long as it can grab the attention of somebody, as long as somebody can watch it and enjoy it, that's what I feel like is the most important. Another example of this is the Sonic the Hedgehog movie that came out earlier this year, which, by the way, is the highest grossing superhero film of all time. I don't know if you can see it, but it happened. It still follows the same formula as Space Jam, real life man, animated character, go on an adventure together, they learn stuff about life, the old song and dance. But the message is different. It's not hard work triumphs over everything else, but it's a simple message about friendship. Now, this concept has been explored through every medium ever to even exist. Books, TV shows, anime, everywhere. The power of friendship prevails over everything. But how this movie did it, to be honest, really isn't any different. Take the scene in the finale of the movie where Sonic is about to unleash all his powers to go and fight Dr. Robotnik. See, even me saying this sentence, it just sounds absurd. But at that part where he's facing the main antagonist, the most dangerous man in the world who wants his powers, he decides to stand up for his friends because he realizes that if he doesn't use his powers for anything other than himself, it's gonna be worse than someone who's just trying to capture him and use it for what? Some evil deeds. Just say dweeds? Deeds. I meant deeds. It's a basic fish out of water story, but honestly, how they executed it was, I think, pretty well. Honestly, people going into the movie actually liked it quite a bit. You can read the reviews right here. People actually didn't expect this movie to be that good, but went into it and were like, oh wait, this was a lot better than we expected. Having simple characters, cliches, and tropes doesn't make your movie bad. It just makes it different from these other more complex ones. Not every good movie, not every good book, not every good medium has to have a super complex character or storyline or setting. That's not required. The bar for the cinematic experience and even intaking other media has been raised so high that we're always expecting something new when we were just fine with the simple stuff before. Now, I want to ask one more question that's probably on your guys' mind. Ethan, that's me. I'm Ethan. How's it going? What does this do? How does this contribute to the overall cinematic experience? How does this, taking in more simple movies and films, how does this really enhance or detract from it? Honestly, not that much. I mean, no matter if the movie is simple or complex, they're all still movies that we tend to enjoy. Just shouldn't really be comparing two different styles of movies at all, because they all have their own good aspects and their own bad aspects in their own right. Some people may prefer the complex movies like Parasite, and other people, kind of like myself, enjoy movies like Space Jam or Sonic quite a lot. It all really depends on the person, and we shouldn't really be detracting the value of one or the other just because they don't suit our preferences.